Thank you, Laura, and welcome to Montreal, everyone, on a steamy night. But it is perfect for Sunday night football as triple threat Trey Ford takes on dominant Davis Alexander here in Week 8 action. Great to have you here with us. Marshall Ferguson, Paul LaPolice, and Kenzie Lalonde as well with us here throughout the evening. And it's all about the quarterbacks, really, at this point. We see these two. They're at different points of their career, different trajectories maybe, but they both have a huge opportunity here tonight, Lapo.
Yeah, both young quarterbacks, but how great is this opportunity for us to see? Davis Alexander last week broke the CFL record in pass attempts, as you can see that, with 336 yards. You need QBs who make great decisions. That's what he does with the football. Trey Ford last week, 10 rushes for 109 yards. This guy can create with his legs, 218 yards passing. Second career game with 100 yards rushing.
I loved you talking last night on the panel about Scott Milanovic, saying we're just trying to figure out Trey, and we're getting more of an opportunity to understand who he is with each and every rep. And Jason Moss, what a hard-fought battle and a victory that was on the road in Calgary last Saturday afternoon, as Devontae Dedman back to return, back in the CFL, back in uniform as well after a great training camp, went through a hamstring injury. And number 7, he looks lively here tonight. We'll see if he has a little bit of magic, as he had so many times in Ottawa, as he begins getting popped and bouncing off the tackle attempt and out across the 30 and right on cue. Devontae Dedman making up for lost time and sparking this massive Alouettes home crowd as Davis Alexander gets a little bit of juice to get things going off the return game.
Talking off the top and talking with the players about this football team. Davis Alexander is a guy that you want in your locker room. You want him on the field with you on every game, because everybody believes in this guy, that they're going to win every game when they go out there. He's going to put his body on the line for you, and he's going to make the plays to help you win games. Really turned around the fortunes of this offense.
Been pounding the rock a little bit lately. They begin that way. Travis Tice on the ground across the 55 and all the way down to the 40-yard line. We get a look at this suddenly surging Montreal Alouettes offense.
Nick Callender, going to watch him all day. Second lowest pressure rate allowed in the CFL. Has done a really good job in his pass protection. And again, Tyler Snead, last time these two teams played, he was spectacular. He had tons of yards. He had 9 catches, 163 yards last time these two teams played, and a touchdown.
Gain of 26 yards for Travis Tice on the first offensive snap of the ballgame, certainly setting the tone. What the Alouettes would like to be able to do, run it early and often as they go back to the well here and right down the chute. It's Tice down at the 20 and immediately ripping off 46 yards rushing in the first 2 plays of the ball game.
And the best thing, guys, is you go ahead and roll it. We've seen 2 consecutive plays where Travis Tice is not going fast. He's patient, and he's trying to see. The first one was a bounce out when he saw nobody playing contain. This time it's an inside zone run, and he bounces it, cuts it a little bit back, but he's letting his block set up. You have to have speed through the hole, not to the hole is the term used with the running backs. Great 2 plays by Travis Tice.
This time Alexander pulls the football outside. Marco Dubois catches it, and Reggie Stubblefield, the ex-Alouette, as a flag flies, makes the grab and hauled down. Stubblefield part of this linebacking group.
Illegal contact inéligible sur un receveur. Hamilton numéro 20. C'est une pénalité de verge. Ça fait un premier essai pour Montréal. Illegal contact on the receiver. Hamilton number 20. It's a 10-yard penalty. Makes it a first down for Montreal.
It features Wynton McManus, and then I was going to mention as well, younger body in there, Jordan Crook, who got run directly out on that second big rip by Travis Tice.
Yep, and Dorado Bidem picks up that penalty for contact after 5 yards downfield to get the Alouettes a little bit closer.
Alouettes offense full throttle here at home on a Sunday night as they go back to Tice, who gets popped, turned around, and we look at the Hamilton defense that. I think that was Philip Osai off the edge. That kind of stunned right Travis Tice, but there's
on the other side of the field, tied for first in the CFL in sacks. Julian Hauser with 4 sacks on this football team. You want to watch a great football player? Reggie Stubblefield leads this team with 32 defensive tackles, 2 sacks, really good. We just talked about Bynum. You just saw got the penalty. Third-year player draws the halfback spot. Quavarian White is 1 game injured. A couple years for the Elks for Bynum.
Alexander looks left early on in this first quarter and almost intercepted. Rapids. Stubblefield had his fingertips on it as the intended receiver was the fullback Jacob Mason. He got an early touch in the ball game out in Calgary last Saturday, and this time can't hang on. So a promising drive, plenty of momentum, but somehow Hamilton will send out the field goal block unit.
Philip Osai does a great job of this. Watch this. As soon as Davis starts to go, you see the contain. We're going to talk about this all night. Both these defenses need to contain both these quarterbacks to prevent explosive plays. Scott Milanovic talked about that. We have to contain Davis Alexander. Don't give up a free explosive. Philip Osai is listening to his head coach.
Jose Maltos Diaz knocks it through as we welcome in viewers from the United States watching on CBS Sports Network who have been enjoying NWSL action. Thank you for being here with us to watch an East Division showdown with the Montreal Alouettes and their potent passing attack led by Davis Alexander, who falls just short, but they get 3 on the board to open things up. Forward of the Hamilton Tiger Cats, of course, stepping in back a couple of weeks ago after Levi Mitchell went down with a devastating injury against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. And Trey's trying to make the most of his opportunities. Last week, made a little bit of history as well. We'll get to that later on in terms of Canadian quarterbacks with the dual threat.
Right there.
But Trey Ford can make it all happen.
Yeah, and talking to Scott Milanovic this week, he just talked about, hey, I'm just trying to figure out what this guy can throw, what he's good at. And there's different read types for a quarterback. Sometimes there's vertical stretches where you read down the field. There's horizontal stretches on a defense where you read across the field. Sometimes you have progression reads. All these different types, he's trying to figure out what Trey's best at and call more of those type of drop-back passes.
Look at the throw on first down outside. Myron Mitchell makes the grab and puts a shoulder down. Early tone setter here for the offense that Trey Ford will lead to battle in Montreal.
Looking at right tackle, Braden Swartout gets his start at right tackle, first-year player from Central Michigan with Quentin Barrow on the 6th game. And I like Larry Roundtree. He's got 334 yards this year, 4.2-yard average. He's got 20 catches. They've done a good job checking down to him. Will the run game get better with a mobile quarterback? Open up some lanes for him.
Big Bolagala in and plunges forward as he picks up the first down.
And Marshall, I'll go back and talk a little bit about what Scott Milanovic said.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't have a practice. You know, Trey Ford started with barely any practice reps or anything, so he had a full week of practice. And for him, he's like, I'm just trying to figure the guy out. He used terms like Levi Mitchell loved to throw the ball downfield, so he's a vertical passer. Trevor Harris was a progression read guy, was great at the progression. I got to figure out what he does best. Obviously, he's going to give him creative run plays, but also when you do have to drop back and throw it, what are the 4 or 5 concepts he can trust that he can execute at a high level?
When he sees it clearly, he can throw it as well as anybody. As Larry Roundtree wrapped up here on first down. And this is the challenge tonight facing the Trey Ford experience as it's the Montreal Alouettes defense.
We got a new player at defensive end, TJ Guy from Michigan, 10 career sacks on the national championship team in 2023. He was just here a couple weeks ago. How about this guy? 100th career game, Tyrese Beverett, great player in the Canadian Football League, multi-faceted player for this defense. And Lorenzo Burns going to watch his alignment versus Kenny Lawler tonight, going against one of the best receivers in the CFL. And you see Noel Thorpe, who we had a conversation with this week about what it has to take defensively to go against this guy, Trey Ford. And, you know, Noel's biggest thing is like, hey, we have to have an understanding. It's no different than Scott Milanovic talked about. We've got to make sure we contain these mobile quarterbacks. You can see that.
Awkward angle is Roundtree got dragged down from the side, bit of an awkward angle, and looked like that might have been excruciating pain. He was flopping around for a minute. Training staff came out and he got up onto his own feet, made his way back to the sideline. So Johnny Augustine, all-Canadian backfield here with Trey Ford for now. As Augustine looks to protect, and Trey wrapped up from behind. And it's Geoffrey Kenton Arku bringing down the Tiger Cats quarterback to end the drive.
Little bit of movement in the back end. Ken Narku is going to come around, and as he comes around the top of the screen, you bring the defensive ends in. He just speed rushes and goes right by Trevor Reed. Doesn't give any chance for Trey Ford to even get into his drop, but the speed rush by Kenton Arku takes him down. That was a great rush, great speed on the perimeter.
That's his first sack of the season for Geoffrey Kenton Arku and the 10th of his CFL career. As once again, Dedman, that low, powerful body After a 47-yard punt, doing everything he can to tee up Montreal with their second possession of the ball game with decent field position. But this Montreal defense feasting early and often, plenty of that expected here tonight against the Youngs.
Without an interception, we added one to that because he's 0 for 1 right now. That's how you win football games.
Well, if I was going to invest in any quarterback in the CFL, I think it'd be Davis Alexander right now. The future stock extremely bright of the Alouettes leader as they go back to the ground attack, and Travis Tice continuing to make the most of his opportunities. A gain of 5 here on first down.
Travis Tice, the thing about this guy is the low center of gravity and the power he runs with. He gets his shoulder pads down on all these runs. Hozer's trying to get him. He's giving up tons of weight to the Hozer, but he's got his legs moving, he's driving, he's getting lower. Just a great running back to watch on a weekly basis. Last week had his career high running the football.
Alexander looks the opposite way. Gets this one out quickly. Tiger Cats rally defensively to get there. Winton McManus flying out as well as refusing to go down and pushing the play forward with Stavros Katsantonis coming down from free safety as well. It is a completion.
So when you see a coverage like this where the field halfback behind him is that far off, quarterback's just going to say, I know this is a run play, but if I can throw this hitch on the outside, I'm going to take it. That's a run-pass option for the quarterback. Why try to even run the ball into all those bodies when I can just get an easy completion that turns into a first down on first down?
See Ferdinand dancing in the open field as Alexander play action and loads it up, and just in behind, but Tyler Snead hangs on to Vondrick Bynum. Bynum was there in coverage, but another first down.
Marshall, this is an awesome play scheme. Watching this out of the backfield. Oh, I love watching this play. Watch right here. We're going to start going out like we're going out in the flat, but we're not going out in the flat. We're breaking across the field. You'll see Snead show right up. Look at the leverage we created on the field. Halfback Bynum. I love it. Start like you're going out and then break back across the field. Great execution by Anthony Calvillo in this offense.
Loading catch by Tyler Snead. Impressive as well as Alexander now rips it to the outside. Jacob Mason makes the grab. Great open field tackle as you would expect. Reggie Stubblefield right there.
First of all, it starts with great protection here. Jason Moss talked about this. We can take better shots downfield because we have really good run action, play actions, and you're going to see this happen, and it shows a run. But why Davis is so successful, hasn't thrown an interception, 2 deep shots. He didn't like either of deep shots. He checks it down to the underneath football player. That's why the guy doesn't throw interceptions, because he's taking what the defense gives him.
2nd and 6. The Alouettes, 4-man rush. Alexander taking a shot down that right rail. Winton McManus. And a one-on-one. They went back to Travis Tice. Used him a lot in the screen game out of the backfield a couple of weeks ago. Then it was the ground attack against Calgary. And they got McManus outside, decided to test the savvy veteran linebacker.
So when you move the tailback all the way outside to the wide side of the field, you basically get an indicator of man coverage. When the middle linebacker goes all the way out there, you know you have man coverage. They felt, hey, let's get an opportunity to get Tice on McManus. Like Winton McManus does a very good job of having a lot of depth, knowing he's in a one-on-one situation.
Joseph Zima sends it away. It's a 2-returner set for the Tiger Cats, but Isaiah Wooden will get the touch here across the 30, breaking through the 40, cuts back, and that's the move that might seal it. Can he get one more block? Byron Mitchell's there. House call. The black and gold return the punt for a touchdown.
What a great return by Isaiah Wooden Sr. Now, the ability of this football player, who's not very big, he's 176 pounds, and I doubt he's 176 pounds, Marshall. But a couple of points here. 1 broken tackle, 2nd broken tackle, 3rd, cut the weak arm on a guy. You have to make people miss. And for a guy who's only 175 pounds, he's got strong lower body strength that leads to this touchdown for Bob Dice and his special teams crew.
Tiger Cats fans might have been crying into their beer, maybe watching Tyreek McAllister with a return touchdown alongside or rushing in or receiving for the Calgary Stampeders, and the former Tiger Cat working his magic on Friday night. And then an opportunity to see their new return man, Isaiah Wooden, make some magic here in Montreal. The cutback on Zima, and nobody left. 7-3, Hamilton leads.
Downfield. Here's what's got to happen. I talked to Bob Dice about Isaiah before the game, and he talked about for a smaller guy, he's got strong lower body strength like I just talked about. And that's important. We've got two great returners tonight. Devontae Dedmon, he's 212 pounds. Isaiah Wooden, like I said, is 175 pounds soaking wet. So you've got to do something else to make one person miss. Once you make one person miss, whether it's a broken tackle or you avoid him in space, that's when the big returns happen. Huge win for that special teams on the road to create an early touchdown.
Dedmon wants to answer now as the special teams unit of the Tiger Cats does their job to bring him down, and Davis Alexander heads back out onto the turf after watching his usually reliable Byron Archambault-led special teams unit for the Alouettes give up a big one that you obviously saw the reaction from Trey Ford. A little bit of excitement, a little bit of extra motivation on that Hamilton sideline that should flow right into the defense here on this possession.
Yeah, absolutely. Get those guys fired up and ready to go. See Byron Archambault, special teams coordinator right there.
Still shaking his head. He's slightly perplexed maybe by that one, but that was a heck of a return by Isaiah Wooden Sr. as Travis Tice in between the tackles once again. It's taken 2 or 3 bodies to bring down Tice tonight. It's another 5 yards for number 5.
Yeah, and Davis Alexander, you know, we're asking him about Travis Tice a little bit. He says when he came in as a rookie, his first year, like he came in late, nobody knew who he was. And then when we were doing thud periods, which thud means you don't hit full speed, you don't pick people to the ground. He goes, he was running in all the DBs and the D linemen, and all the vets didn't like him.
Yeah.
I think they like him a lot more now.
Everybody hates that guy early in training camp, but they love him now, like you say. And I'm not sure they were sold on the vibes early on from Travis Tice, but he's earned their respect certainly as he pass protects here for Davis Alexander, and it is Tyson Philpott fighting back to the football. Incomplete. Samari Walton was there in coverage. As Philpott on his first target, incomplete.
Samari Walton's in a tough position because he's in man coverage. And then Tyson goes inside and tries to break out on the corner route. But Walton's in a good position. He doesn't fall for the stick inside move. He breaks underneath and just gets his hands in there as the ball's a little bit inside. So difficult position for Samari, but good coverage in man.
Back to return is Isaiah Wooden, who, if he doesn't take a picture after that 100-yard touchdown return, that looks like Wilt Chamberlain holding up the 100 sign. What are we doing? We got to get him a little bit of love and opportunity. Here is he'll get another chance and staggers his feet, breaks across the 35, and all the way out to the 38. So after a 55-yard punt, he can't recreate the 100-yard touchdown return. But Isaiah Wooden continues to flip field position for Trey Ford on a picturesque evening here in the old port of Montreal, Quebec.
Converted to the on-field confidence. Receivers coach Mike Lionello told me this week it's his ability to change directions that makes him so effective. Lionello recalls times last year when Kassim was on the practice roster when he was consistently beating the Owls starting DBs. Makes you think, guys, maybe it's that running back gene that makes him so agile on the field.
Yeah, I love it, Kenzie. And as well, like I did a game earlier this year where he basically came in with 0 targets, 0 catches in Edmonton. 5 targets, 4 catches, 55 yards. He jumped into the lineup when Jarrett Stearns went down with the hand injury. And he has made every single opportunity, the most of his big tackle in the open field here. Flying downhill, Robert Kennedy III makes the play.
Nice play by Robert Kennedy III. My last point on Kassim Ferdinand, like great career at Carleton, was a speed sweep. The guy you wanted to get the ball in
Montreal
space.
numéro 9. Offside, Montreal number 9. C'est une petite de Saint-Verge. It's a 5-yard penalty. On reprend le premier essai.
Kenton Arcou is offsides here. Helped the Ticats after that short gain go there. But my last point of Kassim Ferdinand, I loved watching him at Carleton. And he was somebody in the flag football world. We were like, this guy should be somebody we should be keeping track of. But Montreal kept him.
Yeah, great shot there from our crew of Kenton Arcou inside that 1 yard. As we'll see Ferdinand back on the field here shortly, but it's the Tiger Cats offense trying to move things on 1st and 5 after the penalty and going nowhere. On that snap, as Kent Marcoux just walked Kenny Lawler deep into the backfield. Micah Awe right in the middle of the play, as you would usually expect. Just an overwhelming amount of talent at linebacker for the Alouettes.
Yeah, you can see Micah Awe right here starting to come into the middle of the screen. So there's a lot of pressure early in this game. And Micah lets the first linebacker control the center, and then he slides right behind it. But you can see what the Ticats are trying to do.
Hors-jeu, Hamilton, numéro 85. C'est une petite Saint-Verge. On reprend le deuxième essai. Offside, Hamilton 85, 5-yard penalty. It's still 2nd down.
So Hamilton Tiger Cats, there's so much movement from this defense of Montreal that there's multiple different cadence counts going, trying to see what the coverage is. And again, Keandre Smith, you have to have communication. Everybody got to be on the same page. You can't take those penalties, those easy penalties, not being on the same page.
I think Keandre ended up in St. Jean-sur-Richelieu before he realized that he was actually offside. As this one somehow makes its way into the hands of Myron Mitchell, the ball rolling around. And Montreal has the rock on 2nd and long, a turnover, and it's Beauchemin.
Ball's deflected at the line of scrimmage here, and I think you're going to see Robert Kennedy come in and do the peanut punch right here. Boom, knocks the ball down before Mitchell gets down. And then when you have a lot of guys chasing the football, good things happen. Nate Beauchemin's right there to get the takeaway. Create a short field. So good job by Beauchemin.
Le dernier jeu bénéficie d'une révision automatique du centre de commandement. The replay center is automatically reviewing this.
A turnover, potential turnover, looking things over. But for now, it's the 23-year-old, the youngest Alouette, Beauchemin, out of Calgary in the Dinos program, a 2nd-round pick from last year that came up with the football after what a play. Just the tip, the delay at the line of scrimmage, and Kennedy is going after the rock immediately.
Yeah, the hard part about Montreal is they have all these guys standing at the line of scrimmage defensively, and then a bunch of them drop out. But some of the guys staying at the line of scrimmage, they don't rush. They kind of just stay there, wait till the ball's thrown, knock the ball down. Good stop by the defensive line, basically making that a short catch, and then Kennedy comes in and knocks it down.
Suite à la révision automatique du jeu, le joueur de Hamilton était au sol avant de perdre le ballon. C'est 3e essai à la ligne de 43. Following automatic review by the replay center, the Hamilton player was down by contact at the 43-yard line before he lost possession. 3rd down, Hamilton.
So the Tiger Cats will get the chance to at least gain some field position and punt it away, but get a good, clean look at it here. There's the rip by Kennedy, Lapo, but the knee.
Knees down right there. Yeah, you can see a good angle of it. That's the first time we've seen that. Good call by the replay center.
Mitch McCarthy set to send this one away. Backwards spiraling kick. Drops down to Devontae Dedmon inside his own 20. Makes the first man miss. And the second wave of special teams tacklers is right there. Tyson Middlemost down the field. We'll get final credit for it as a flag down well in behind the play on the special teams battle. A punt of 49, and Davis Alexander, instead of getting the football up around the 35-40 yard line where he had it after
Alors que le ballon était dans les airs, retenu, Montréal numéro 44 sur une pénalité diverge while the ball was in the air, holding Montreal number 44. That's a 10-yard penalty. It's going to be 1st down for Montreal.
Instead of having it up to 35-40 in plus territory now after the penalty and the punt, a significant flip and field position.
Yeah, why that's such a brutal penalty. You take it's where the ball is caught, you back it up 10 yards. You lose also the return. So just really flip the field, put yourself in a tough position to drive the length of the field.
Backed up deep in their own end and trailing as it stands right now, nearing the end of the first quarter. Alexander takes the jet sweep and gets it into the hands of Cole Speaker. First down on 1st down, an essential component of Jason Moss's offensive attack.
One of the keys to this game for the Ticats is they got to tackle. You're going to get a lot of quick throws behind the line of scrimmage and a lot of yak yards from this Montreal team. You've got to be able to wrap these guys up and make sure you don't let them get extra yardage. Quick little screen. The offensive linemen are out. It's very difficult for the DBs to make the plays. Get Cole Speaker up inside the lineman on a quick screen pass.
From their own 21, they go back to the quick passing attack, and Ferdinand once again dancing in the open field as Cole Speaker blocking down the field. That goes for a gain of 9. I did love when we were talking to Speaker this week, Lapo, and I asked him who he kind of looked up to growing up. He said Randy Moss. I like to take the top off. Then he had the self-awareness kick in. And he realized he wasn't Randy, and he might have to start blocking downfield on plays like this.
Great block on this screen pass. And again, we are back-to-back screen passes by this Montreal offense. First one got a first down on first down. This got 9 yards. This is why this Montreal offense is so good. They get the ball in their playmakers' hands. Davis is very accurate with it. Lets him run with it.
Barry Wilson in the game as the short yardage quarterback. Flags in the air. And Moss telling the side official, just, yeah, whatever, wave it off, let's go. Move, next play, next play. There's 2 seconds left here in this first quarter, and hoping to get another meaningful snap in going this direction. It started so hot, you thought on that first drive that it was going to be a touchdown for the Alouettes.
Jeu, Hamilton numéro 45. Sur le penalty de Saint-Vert, ça donne un premier essai pour Montréal. Offside, Hamilton 45. The 5-yard penalty makes it a first down for Montreal.
And still just that 3 points from their first possession on the board here as we have the final snap of the first quarter.
And a team that is first in the CFL in big plays, Montreal is first in 30-plus completions, first in net offense. There's a lot of these short, quick passes, and then here comes a shot play eventually.
Jumps, but no flags fly. Offense didn't react, and Alexander once again screened the other side. Tyson Philpott gets a look at it, and a wall of blockers out in front. Philpott up near the 55, a gain of 17.
A lot of play callers don't have the patience to do what Anthony Calvi is doing. Get the ball out of your hands, get the ball into your playmakers' hands, let them get the ball downfield for quick first downs.
Montreal Alouettes developing a trend of quick starts. They did so in this one, but they trail at the end of play. Paul Lapalisse, you would fully expect the Montreal Alouettes to be in control of this football game, but this is the equation for the Hamilton Tiger Cats to find a way to win here on the road.
And Scott Milanovich said that this week. He's like, hey, listen, nobody gives us a chance to win. We're going to be ready to play, and we're going to win this football game. How do you do that? Special teams give you a lot of help here. Offensively, they've taken a while to get going. Not a lot of yardage offensively for the Ticats. And then now Montreal's got a long field to go to. They've had to kick 1 field goal already. Let's see what this Ticats defense can do against this potent offense of the Owls.
I love you mentioned Milanovich saying, yeah, it's based on the way everyone's talking about this game. Even I heard you, Jermaine Franklin, on SportsCenter last night saying, I think Hamilton's in trouble in this one. Never say never in the CFL. Davis Alexander begins the second quarter with a completion. And Cole Speaker bounces off Devondrick Bynum down the sideline and steps out of bounds on his own accord.
We just talked about you've got to tackle these football players because there's so many opportunities behind. You're going to see Cole Speaker right there, and he's going to run across the field. Guess who has to chase him? Jamal Peters has got to go all the way across the field to make it. Bynum doesn't wrap him up, and then there's the explosive play. You've got to break down, wrap these guys up.
Alexander, deep drop play action, looking for Tyson Philpott, who fell coming out of his break. Had a nice route teed up that time, but just lost an edge.
This happened in warm-ups. I swear to God, Marshall, I'm watching Tyson Philpott. He's kind of warming up by himself around all his guys. Slipped, fell out of it. Kind of looked up at his teammates. Is like, I'm sorry, guys. What is happening here? He's got a one-on-one. He breaks on the outside. They throw it higher than the halfback. Just kind of slips out of it. Sometimes when you're a wideout, you got to make sure you have your feet underneath you. Looked like he planted outside the framework of his body, and he's going to fall out of it.
I dig the fresh red boots on Tyson here tonight, but just not gripping the way they need to on that route is Marco Dubois. All of a sudden, and Moose, the big body, bouncing his way through the middle of the Tiger Cats defense for a first down.
When you get these crossing routes in zones, as everybody drops out, you'll see Wynton McManus, you'll see Baker, both of these guys dropping out, and Marco's underneath. He's getting a little chip, and then he sits down in the zone. As everybody gets stepped, Davis takes this underneath for the easy first down. That's one of the things that's real difficult about Montreal's offense. When you watch them, they are going to chip these defensive ends. Osai, Hauser, they're going to go ahead and hit them and then release, as you saw Marco Dubois. And that does two things, Marshall. But one of the first things is it allows you, Davis Alexander, to take off, and those guys can lose contain. But the other thing, it delays that out route by Marco Dubois and creates the opportunity in the zone.
Philip Osai, the injured Tiger Cat, down right now, but it also makes me wonder, Lapo, in terms of what Scott Milanovich was discussing with us this week. Some guys are vertical, some guys are horizontal. What would that classify as? Because Davis is working one side and coming back to kind of a catch-up route from the sides, right?
That's a progression where he's looking to his right, and then he can come back to Marco Dubois. Okay, and you can see Travis Tice is going to come in here, and then he's going to go. There's the chip I'm talking about. Delivers a shot to help his left tackle. The Ticats talked about this. We got to be ready for all these chips that this team does.
It was more of a chunk than a chip. What a shot by Travis Tice that time as Alexander play action again. It's Tyler Sneed.
Beautiful catch.
The theatrics
catch.
with the left hand.
Amazing by Tyler Sneed. And again, what I love what these guys are doing. They're creating havoc on the defensive backs. Once again, you'll see Tyler Sneed in the backfield. And as you see him right here, leak out. Now the man player is in a position where he's too far away. Starts one direction, breaks out. You're easily going to get that throw because he's in the backfield. I always talked about man-to-man. If they're pressed, doesn't matter if you release from the backfield. You can't press them out of the backfield.
They'll go once again with Terry Wilson, short yardage quarterback, coming over and assuming that role, who folds himself over the pile inside the 5-yard line. Down here inside the score zone, you got to be thinking the multiple weapons the Alouettes have. Obviously, the ground game dangerous. We've seen that, but between Tyson Philpott and Tyler Sneed, 64% of the Alouettes receiving total so far coming into this game is from those two. Now Cole Speaker is in the lineup and looking better than ever.
And this team has done a lot of work this offseason to get better at their red zone. They're third in the CFL, something they kind of struggled with the last couple of years, in the top 3 in the league and scoring touchdowns down here.
Speaker in motion, but they give it to Tice, who almost gets to the end zone. Turned away at the last second, but again, it takes 2 or 3 bodies to make sure that Tice doesn't finish in the end zone. Stubblefield right there at the goal line.
So this is a wind it all the way back. You can see him start front side, then he starts winding it back, and then gets his shoulders square, and then he's going to deliver a blow and drive the defenders to the 1-yard line. That's what I love about this back. North-south physicality.
Terry Wilson in once again. Short yardage, handling it instead of Dustin Crum. And flags hit the sky as it's a touchdown for the Alouettes, their first of the ball game. And Terry Wilson with an opportunity to grab the reins, maybe the short yardage package for him now. Give Dustin Crum a break.
Le défensif de Hamilton est décliné. C'est un touché. Offside. Hamilton defensive line. The penalties decline. The result of the play is a touchdown.
You just got to stay low, keep your feet moving, climb over the top of your offensive lineman. This is a huge response by the Montreal Alouettes. Remember, this drive started at their own 10-yard line after a penalty to be able to go all the way down the field for this touchdown. Great response by the O.
Former Winnipeg Blue Bomber, and the Taylor Elgersma move happened before all of the Drew Brown drama. Decided that Terry Wilson was going to go elsewhere. Had 4 rushing touchdowns in 2024, added another last season. And on the board here in 2026 with the Montreal Alouettes. As Montos Diaz zips that one through the uprights. And the Alouettes looked like they were going to get a major early on in the first. They had to wait a full quarter in order to reach pay dirt. They do it through the short yardage package. And Terry Wilson into the end zone as Montreal reclaims the lead.
plays, 11 plays, 109 yards. Now there is not a deep ball thrown here. It's all quick throws, get it underneath, let guys run with it, and break tackles. Davis Alexander's locating the football. A little bit of help there, and there's Terry Wilson finish him off. That's a great response after being backed up for that penalty. Davis Alexander's seeing the pictures, seeing the coverages, and they're doing a great job making sure they get the ball in their playmakers' hands, let them run with it, Marshall.
Isaiah Wooden's 4th career kick return touchdown came earlier on in this ball game in his 22nd game played as he gets rocked by Micah Awe. That's what happens when you take the CFL's leading tackler from last year and just throw him on special teams in a depth role.
How about this hit? Micah Awe. We know this veteran. He's been in the league a long time. Look at him coming down. Boom, deliver a blow. That's so pretty to watch. You don't get hits like this anymore in the league. Splits the double, goes through there, makes a huge hit. Coach Archibald's in a better mood.
Unbelievable coverage for Micah Awe. He goes right in at middle linebacker here. As Trey Ford gets over the middle, underneath on a little crossing route. It's Kenny Lawler, Micah Awe on defensive tackle. Next to Tyrese Bevered, who's in his 100th game here this evening.
Nice first catch for Lawler. He's on the backside of the play. He's coming all the way across, sitting in the zone. Trey Ford didn't like the front side throw, so he just gets it to his big target. Put them in a 2nd and short situation.
Kenny Lawler's consecutive games with a catch extends to 78 in a row. Last game without a catch was back in September of 2018 for number 89. Trey Ford finds Myron Mitchell sitting into the soft spot. And an easy conversion on 2nd down. Good look that time from Trey in rhythm.
This is what 2nd and medium gets you. You can just throw it. He just takes the laces and throws a hitch. The field halfback is high. You're going to get that. Sees Mitchell early. Gets the easy throw. Good decision by Trey Ford. Finding the soft spot of the defense.
Ticats starting quarterback from A.N. Myers secondary. 3 straight OFSA titles, Ontario championships. His way through Waterloo and now here to the Tiger Cats after getting drafted to Edmonton as he hands it off, and Larry Roundtree turned around by the flowing defense of the Alouettes. Mustafa Johnson right there.
Little misdirection by Larry Roundtree here. You're going to pull a couple of linemen in one direction and then just hope that Larry Roundtree can get around it. You see linemen going this way. You're going to try to crack and let Larry Roundtree get around it. Don't quite get the crack. Some of these lateral plays, sometimes you don't get the perimeter blocks, can turn into negative yardage plays.
Great play on the edge by Jim Taddy's favorite Alouette, Guy. As Trey Ford gets wrapped up and thrown down. Mustafa Johnson's on a heater. Little reverse dunk to go with it with Isaac Adeyemi Berglund, and Mustafa Johnson back-to-back plays just single-handedly ends the Tiger Cats drive.
Now when you're playing Trey Ford, as you go ahead and rush, you can see right here, you're going to be rushing the passer, but you're not 100 miles an hour. And you're going to do your best to, when you win inside, you've got to be under control because you know Trey's going to take off and run. Good lateral movement by a 300-pounder, Marshall, to be able to bring him down. So great inside move and then covers the next gap over to go ahead and make this sack on Trey Ford.
Big punt this time by McCarthy. Rolls into the end zone as Dedman will let it settle. And the Tiger Cats keep their distance. I'll tell you what, Micah Awe almost went and blocked that punt as well after having the big special teams tackle. But it's all Mustafa Johnson all the time. It was a 76-yard punch, but it was caused by the reverse slamma jamma. A beautiful evening here in Montreal. It felt like one of those days it was going to break with a thunderstorm and be good by kickoff, but the rain never came. Just perfection all day long as Tyson Philpott has been perfect himself through the start of this season. Those cleats are working out just fine right now on the screen as it goes for 12 yards to number 6.
Yeah, You love coordinators keep calling the same plays when they work. Wide receiver screen all the way to number 1. Run into the linemen that are pulling outside. Get it to an athlete. Let him get north-south.
Never seen a guy so frustrated by a 12-yard gain on a screen. Like, he's so accustomed to the 20, 30, 40, 50 touchdown. Gets 12, he gets up screaming and squeezing the football because he knows there's more there on every snap. Alexander looks to throw and goes for the deeper of the routes. Tyler Sneed, Murray Walton there in coverage, but one of those rare forces maybe from Davis Alexander. Lapo just trying to squeeze it into a tight spot.
Underneath zone coverage did a really good job. Look at this right here. Milt Stiegel, 2002, 810 yards. Tyson Philpott right behind him. His pace for could be CFL record 2,000 yards.
Tyson ominously pointing at Milt.
Uncle Milty, right? Good Lord. 2002 season where he led the CFL and broke the CFL record with 23 touchdowns.
Who's calling the plays on this?
I don't know. Some weird guy. I don't know. Some weird guy from New Hampshire.
Alexander looks to throw, and it's low and away. Did he hang on to it? Tyler Sneed trying to dig it out. The location was to try and help away from the defenders here, Lapo, but they'll say for now it's a catch.
So one of the best things when you see Tyler Sneed as a football player, and you say, well, how does a 5'7" guy play pro football? Because he understands time and space, understands where to settle in the zone. He didn't come running into he had a dig, which is an in-breaking route. He didn't sprint into the next level, into the next linebacker. He started to throttle, and then he had to make the great catch to pick up his quarterback.
The screen game here. Cole Speaker slides down with contact. They'll whistle it, but an opening there. And right now, Jason Moss, Anthony Calvillo, Davis Alexander are trying to just scrape the Tiger Cats to death.
Let's just talk about these guys. Look at these big guys right here. These guys are getting a lot of work today because as you play this play, Tiger Shanks, Donnie Ventrunelli, look at what these guys are going. 3 guys running out there. Cyril Hogan, Sedan, these guys are tired. They're always running out. They've run, I don't know, 7 screen passes. So these big guys got to be in shape to play offensive line for the Montreal Alouettes.
Exhausting for the corners, getting 300-pounders running at
That's a little bit
every other play as well.
Yes.
As this one gets handed off to Rushawn Baker. In behind Travis Tice in the line, first year out of Elon.
And good positioning by Philip Osai to come in and make this tackle. Splits this and creates the 3rd and 1 stop here.
How many different types of screens do you think AC's got on the old call sheet there?
Right, and again, you have wide receiver screens we've seen a ton of. They also have tailback screens, which you call slow screens. And then you also have like fullback screens with Marco Dubois. So, and then eventually they're going to take a shot play.
Wilson to the left-hand side and chased by Stavros Katsantonis. It looks like he'll have a spot that's close to the first down. As Katsantonis came down from free safety, everyone else filled the gap, and it'll be a stop. Stavros there on the spot. Ben Major doesn't even ask for a measurement. Referee says it is clear cut. Katsantonis chasing over the top. Wilson bounces off. And well shy. Excellent job by the Ticats defense holding.
Yeah, but you look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people at the line of scrimmage. That's why you create all these extra gaps. What's Stavros Katsantonis right here, though? He has to chase all the way across and then get down and make the play and drive Terry Wilson back. Terry Wilson's not a small quarterback, so he has to chase across the field and then cover his gap. Great play by Stavros Katsantonis, making the stop to create the turnover.
And how quick he had to react to chasing the motion.
Yeah,
well, right?
Why you do all those plays at the short yardage, but that's a great play by Stavros right there. Stop in Montreal.
2-point ball game here in Montreal. Trey Ford flips it out into the open field. They get Isaiah Wooden an offensive touch. Why not? He created the touchdown earlier on. As Kenny Lawler doing some dirty work down the field for a gain of 12.
Here's what gets me fired up here on this play. This is just a swing pass on the outside. But if you watch the wide receivers block, and watch Kenny Lawler right there. Keandre Smith still engaged with this guy. These wide receivers want to catch the football, but they know, hey, we got a young quarterback. We're going to call different things for this guy. We're going to need your help blocking. I love watching those guys block for their quarterback and for their running back.
All their 7 contested catches tied 3rd in the CFL, with Justin Hardy just behind Austin Mack and Aiden Eberhard of the Ottawa Redblacks. But here blocking as he'll be asked to once again, with Larry Roundtree getting chopped down. And was that Wesley Sutton forcing the ball loose, or was it the elbow down after the huge contact from Sutton?
Little play action, and then let's call a screen pass ourselves. Hamilton calls their first screen pass. Laurenti's trying to go up. Okay, good hit. Elbow down is always going to create no opportunity for a turnover. Great recognition by Wesley Sutton after the play action, recognizing it's a screen to the second back.
Second time already in this ball game that Larry Roundtree III has had his lower leg
3 minutes. Le temps d'arrêt, pardon, 3 minutes. 3-minute timeout.
negatively affected as we hit the 3-minute warning.
I don't like it already. 3 minutes? What's going on? This is having fun up here.
Winding down. We got a great ball game going.
Half. We'll have highlights from the rest of week 8 as well. Milt.
Dog of the week, baby.
Bit of a surprise when it comes to the dog of the week for week number 8.
What's the
Send it
surprise,
back to
though?
Marshall. I can't tell anybody yet.
Brown for sticker.
Oh, the dog. Yeah, who's the dog of the week, Milt? I want to know, because you've got Tyreek McAllister, Cody Fajardo's career high. Dog of the week.
You can only pick one?
Kicker for Edmonton? Like, I don't know.
Vincent Blanchard. He has a name just because he's a kicker. Trey Ford under pressure. Nate Boschman almost got there. Somehow Trey got it away, and a huge hit on Carrick Wheatfall. We got a ball game going in Montreal tonight.
This is what's scary about Trey. So there is pressure coming with only 4-man. You get a 3-man rush with a little bit of twist. Boschman's coming over Roundtree. And you see these guys starting to drop people out and bring different players. Roundtree misses Boschman, but this is what Trey can do. He does a great job of finding where his check down is to create this 3rd-and-1 opportunity.
Late substitution for the Alouettes. Flying onto the field with TJ Guy as Jake Dolegala in with short yardage and plunges to the right-hand side. Nate Boschman, as he's wrapping up Trey Ford, has got to be watching that knee saying, come on. It's getting, and then the throw gets away, and he's got to be looking up inside his helmet going, really?
Well, and that's what Scott talked about this week. When we were talking about what he liked about Trey, he's like, one of the things I think Trey does a very good job of when we were talking about different read types is he finds his checkdowns. I think he's really does a good job, Paul, of finding his checkdowns. So Scott was like, all right, how do I build more opportunities for him to progress once or two and then find the checkdowns? Because you know he can take off and run.
Yeah.
And when he takes off and runs, big things happen.
First down for the Tiger Cats in Montreal territory. 2.5 remaining in this first half. Ford rolls to his right, wanted to throw it back the other direction, and brought down in his 100th game played. Tyrese Beverett adds another sack to the illustrious future Hall of Fame career.
The best part of these linebackers is they come with speed and they can get to the quarterback. So what do? You got an athletic quarterback? You rush with athletic players. You don't let your 4 defensive linemen. So you bring linebackers who can tackle these athletic quarterbacks. And Tyrese Beverett, one of the best in the business to do it as a rusher at linebacker.
22nd career sack for Beverett, former Tiger Cat. As Myron Mitchell makes the grab, and a flag lies as well. I think Mitchell might have had an inkling of trying to hurdle Faion Hicks that time, and Tyrese Beverett said, no, there's no chance we're letting anybody jump over.
I don't know if you're going to jump for a first down from 10 yards away. That probably
Retenu, Hamilton, numéro 56. Punition d'hiver, on reprend le deuxième essai. Holding, Hamilton, number 56. It's a 10-yard penalty. We'll replay the second down.
You could see on that Trevor Reed high on the defensive end getting the holding call.
Tiger Cats backed up inside. 2 minutes remaining. 2nd and 26. Certainly not something you want to have to use with a young quarterback like Trey Ford on the call sheet.
really backing them up. 2nd and 26. Not a lot in the playbook for 2nd and 26 from a play call. That might be the first one you call.
Yeah.
Protect your young quarterback.
Larry Roundtree and
Punt and put your defense back on.
get a little chunk of yardage and live to play another day here for Larry Roundtree and the Tiger Cats offense.
These are just some of the you're on the road, doing your part special teams offensively. Just can't get penalties. You can't take sacks, can't take penalties. How do you? But you also got to get a couple opportunities for Keandre Smith, Kenny Lawler. How do you get those guys some touches in the game?
Devontae Devin back to return. This caught me out getting ready for this game, Lapo. 30 years old, in his 8th year in the CFL.
Oh, Devin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does not feel like it.
He's a young pup out of William and Mary. Same school as Michael Pinball Clemens.
The 8-year vet hauls it in. As flags will hit the sky once again here in Montreal at the end of that play. And we'll get a look at exactly what led to the penalty.
McCarthy here with the punt. Let me talk about
On a
punters.
Rudess, Hamilton, numéro 32. On va avancer 15 verges. Ça va être premier essai Montréal. Major foul roughing, Hamilton 32. We'll go up 15 yards from the end of the play. It's going to be first down for Montreal.
Jordan Crook's got to be smarter at the sideline here. Okay, you're over. You've done your job. You just don't push him down. You hold him up. You hold your teammate up. Okay, or not your teammate, but you hold another player in the league. We don't want extra hits like that. But Mitch McCarthy, that's a great punt to put Dedmon right on the sideline. That's what you want to do. You just can't add this. You know, it's not a smart penalty right there. Not a smart play right there.
And Alexander will flip it to Tyson Philpott, who loses the football. It's up for grabs, and somehow Philpott's on it. Welcome to the circus in Montreal.
I mean, what is this? Like, Tyson Philpott, this is a great play by the Hamilton Tiger Cats defense to force this ball as he comes across. Here's a speed sweep. The safety recognizes it, comes down. Stavros is right there, makes the hit to create the turnover. And then Tyson's like, no, I got it. It's only a loss of 2 yards. Amazing play.
Anybody else watch Football Follies VHSs in the 90s?
Oh, yeah.
That's... Bank that one away. Alexander, pressure coming, gets away from Philip Osai, looks over the top, pulls Speaker. Did he hang on to it? It looks like he did. Wow. Alexander somehow, after what should have been Hamilton football in position to go score, maybe a touchdown on 2nd and long, just barely gets this one to Speaker.
So this is one of the things Scott Melandri talked about. Philip Osai's got to be wider. He's got to be outside to contain the quarterback. Don't let him escape. Not enough width. He escapes, creates the first down play using his legs. Davis and Trey Ford, outstanding using their legs.
Alexander with a deep drop, checks it down underneath. Jacob Mason, the fullback, releases and runs straight into a crowd. But it looks like he's earned a first down. He has for his efforts. First contact coming there around 6 yards, and the big man, Mac, just rolled over the top.
Jacob Mason here, he's helping his quarterback by getting a chip like you talked about, Marshall. And then as the coverage gets high, Davis doesn't like where the throw is. He can get the underneath, and that creates a first down because of the depth of the defense.
Alexander managing the end of this half with just a 2-point lead over the Tiger Cats. Pressure on, and DA gets blasted as he chucks it up for Kassim Ferdinand, and it looks like Bynum might have gotten a foot down. What an interception, they'll call it, for Devondrick Bynum.
Well, Enoch Mwamba called it. He said he's going to throw an interception tonight. Devondrick Bynum with a great interception. So Davis is trying to take this deep corner route on the outside to Kassim Ferdinand, and Bynum's just in a good position and can undercut it for this play. You can see it right here. It's a little short. Okay, so as Ferdinand goes back for this ball, he's trying to run it to the sideline. He has to stop drop. Bynum makes a good jump. Kassim Ferdinand, not the biggest guy. Bynum makes the play. Huge takeaway by this Ticats defense.
The donut in the intersection column is now gone for Davis Alexander in 2026. Likely wasn't going to last forever, but disappointing nonetheless for him just to turn the ball over in a spot where they were downhill aggressive and picking up big chunks of yardage.
So Marshall, back when I was an offense coordinator years ago and a head coach, we would basically, the quarterbacks in the quarterback room, we had a picture each quarterback and how many throws they'd done without an interception, and you add up every week. And I remember Matt Nichols used to say, "Oh my God, when you throw an interception after you've gone 150, it's so humbling to go back to 0, right? Go from 180 down to 6 passes."
It feels like the Simpsons intro. Days since disaster. Back to 0 in Springfield. All right. Inside handoff. Hamilton trying to get out of this half clean. Man, the momentum swings in this ball game are just unbelievable. From Phil Pott fumbling and recovering it himself, popped up in the air. As we get another look here at Davis Alexander ending his streak at 356. This was our Fisher Investments Canada stat of the game as well. And, well, it was a heck of a night to highlight it as DA heads down the tunnel early on.
And again, it wasn't a bad decision. It just the location was off. He had a guy in his face, so he's like, I think I can get it to Kasim, so he threw it up. So it wasn't a terrible decision, just the location wasn't great, and Bynum made a nice play.
Daniel Wise is the injured Alouette. We got halftime coming up with Laura Enoch and the one and only Milton Stiegel. This is the thing I find so interesting, though, about our stat of the game in terms of consecutive pass attempts without an interception. It's not as though the Montreal Alouettes have been babying Davis Alexander and making him throw 5, 7, 8 yards down the field. He's aggressive. He's chucking it all over the place. He just hasn't thrown an interception. So when you say it's not out of character, that's the type of throws he's been making with great success.
And I think there's 2 good points there. Like, this team does protect the quarterback by a lot of quick. Some teams protect your quarterback by running the football and we're run first, this or that. This team is short passes first, and then here comes a big shot play. Davis has proven to be able to use his legs to create some of these deep shot plays, but he's been so accurate on these underneaths. They just stay on the field, and then sooner or later the big play is going to happen. And you're right, they don't shy away from taking shots downfield.
Tiger Cats will kneel this out with the 2021 Heck Crichton Trophy Award winner Trey Ford, and down by just 2 points. 18 points total on the board right now. Hamilton will head to the locker room despite the ebbs and flows of this ball game. I think
Hamilton's got to feel great.
Yeah,
Hamilton's got to feel great. We got to get some rhythm offensively. We got to speed up the processes for Trey Ford so he doesn't, so he can get the ball out of his hand quicker. But we're sitting 10-8, big return. Defense has done some things. We just got to find their way to climb back in.
We're going to look at Tyler Snead in his first half of action. For me, the highlight is the slow motion lefty grab that we got. But floating backwards to get things going. And in the flats, as always, electric once he gets the football into his hands. As we send it down to Kenzie Lalonde, who's alongside number 85.
Well, Tyler, you were a thorn in the sides of Hamilton last time you saw them. Again here tonight. What's allowed you to find room out there tonight?
Just playing them again, going through the week, looking at film, studying with the guys, with the coaches, and coming out here with a good game plan and executing it.
We see some success with the ground game, some short passes. What do you think will be key to find consistency in the second half?
Just keep moving the ball. I feel like we moved it pretty well. We just didn't end up with points there. So just coming out of those drives with points and, keep it moving.
Hey, have fun.
Thank you.
Laura in the pen.
To the backside of the Montreal Alouettes, who are trying to run away from them. The biggest play of this game, though, a 100-yard return. He hit the dollar bill, and Isaiah Wooden is standing alongside our Kenzie Lalonde.
Well, Isaiah, let's go back to the beginning of the game. A huge 100-yard return for the touchdown. How do you think that helped to set the tone for your team?
Oh, man, it helps set the tone a lot. That's something that we preach on every week, getting started fast. So I feel like we did that tonight. Got started fast, but we just got to keep going.
Close game. It's an entertaining game. Big hits. It's physical. Are these the games you love to play in?
Oh, these are the games you love to play in because, like you said, the physicality. Everybody loves that. Hard football, hard-nosed football. It don't get no better than that.
Have fun.
All right, thank you so much.
Yeah, being the returner in a highly physical football matchup, it takes a different kind of animal. As you see Isaiah Wooden in the eyes say he's ready for the second half.
And I'm looking forward to the second half. I really want to see what Hamilton comes out and does with Trey. They've only run 19 offensive plays, Marshall. See, they just haven't been in a great rhythm. I mean, Trey is 7 of 7 passing, but what are they going to come out and do to create, just to get better rhythm offensively?
Trying to find their flow. Going to wind down week number 8 as this one drops by the sideline and it's live. Bouncing around, and I think at the bottom of the pile, was it Baker that was able to get on top of it? Ryan Baker plays the savior. They didn't want to kick it to Isaiah Wooden. I don't blame them, but that was a mess for the Tiger Cats.
Yeah, I mean, when it's this short, those upbacks got to recognize, well, the upbacks aren't in a good position. Woodson, should got to get all the way up and run underneath that, because once this ball goes 10 yards, anybody can get it. You see Alway going there. Baker is great to be around that football to make that recovery. You can't let that ball go to the ground and let Montreal almost get that huge takeaway.
A clean look at it did Montreal at one point, but Trey Ford does get his hands on the football to begin this second, and it's incomplete. And that officially the first target for Keandre Smith. That one earlier on alongside an offside penalty, so a sluggish, almost non-existent first half for Keandre Smith begins the same here in this second half.
You can see one of the things, it's a good, I think this pass is going to be in a good position, but Najee Murray did a good job not getting a piece of this. But moving the launch point on the first play, getting Trey Ford outside to throw to Keandre Smith, trying to get him an easy throw. He doesn't have to read the defense, have to worry about how many guys dropping out at the line of scrimmage up front.
You see late communication from Smith as well as Trey Ford's first incompletion leads to second down, and he gets this one to the outside, breaking a tackle for the first down. It's Carrick Wheatfall, and past Kennedy, it's Carrick Wheatfall doing all the work that time to pick up the first down. 21,000 in attendance here tonight in Montreal, and they were all into it on that. But it was Carrick Wheatfall answering the call.
Good recognition, throwing this ball out to the soft spot of the defense. And again, when you throw it all the way out to number 1, the number widest receiver to the field, if the corner misses the tackle, it turns into a huge play.
U Sports Rookie of the Year in 2017. Trey Ford, 8 of 9 for 70 yards. Looks to throw here again and bounces this one off the hands of Wilfrid Laurier grad Curly Gittens Jr. Free to see addition coming over from Edmonton.
Just not looking the ball into his hands. This is a little zone read RPO. It's actually a screen pass. Just throw it to Curly Gittens Jr. He's got to overlook the ball into his hands. Don't run without it. He had good blocker. That was going to go for some yards.
Kenny Lawler extending, as I said earlier on, his active catch streak to 78, but that's the only one he's had. 1 catch, 6 yards. They look his direction on 2nd and 10. Ford with pressure coming. And out comes the legs for Trey Ford. And he reaches for the first down. Goes and gets it all by himself. That 4.49 40-yard dash time from his pro day on display here in the CFL.
You got a bunch of guys standing around the line of scrimmage. That's what Montreal likes to do. They create one-on-ones, and you can see Liam Dobson gets beat clean. Trey Ford has no time to look at the defense, but what happens is legs take over to get the first down. Montreal loves trying to play zone and create those man-to-man matchups on the offensive line. Create havoc up front.
Tiger Cats go to the running game. They try to run it towards Max Mang, big tight end. But nothing doing that time. It's Lorenzo Burns, Joffrey Canton-Arcou, Isaac Adeyemi Berglund. I can keep going. Michael Holloway, they're all there.
Run to the ball.
As we see the history of Trey Ford from that victory last week. Perhaps should have been a loss. The kicking situation at the end of the game, pretty straightforward for the Argonauts. But Russ Jackson, nonetheless, the great Russ Jackson, the last to do it as a Canadian, 200 through the air and 100 on the ground.
Russ Jackson, amazing player. The people out in Ottawa just love talking Russ Jackson stories living in Ottawa.
I love talking to him. Oh. Legend of Westdale Secondary right there in Hamilton. Trey Ford rips this one in rhythm now that you asked for, Lapo, and it goes to Carrick Wheatfall on 2nd and 9.
I love this. Location of the football is so important when a receiver is running what you call a radical, where the ball's coming down towards the quarterback. Right now, lets him catch it in stride and run with it to get the first down. You have to locate. If that's not located, doesn't get the first down. So nice, easy throw. Get the first.
Empty it out for Ford. Looks to his right, completes a screen, got numbers. If they can make a man miss, and why not? Kenny Lawler's second grab of the ball game goes all the way to the house. 33 yards for the touchdown.
The thing you have to see here is Nate Boschman when he recognizes the screen. So the ball gets out pretty quick. Pressure is what you want, screens into pressure, but Boschman misses when he goes to make the tackle. Kenny Lawler makes him pay after great escapability, using his legs as Boschman goes low for him, can't make the tackle. That's what you want. You want these screen passes versus blitzers, and then there's nobody else on the perimeter. Great call, Scott Milano.
Leggio digs that one out after a low snap and helpful hold. Kenny Lawler punctuates a 7-play, 76-yard touchdown drive. It took 4 minutes and 3 seconds. Usually with Bo Levi and Mitchell, it's the long bombs over the top. With Trey Ford at the controls, it's a screen for 33 as Lawler hits the end zone.
3-yard touchdown into pressure. You're going to see 1, 2, 3 blitzers, and that's what you want when you call a screen pass. You want them on your side of the line of scrimmage. That shows up. 2 linemen get out. Nate Boschman's in space. He's coming too fast. Can't make the tackle. The defense is already at the quarterback level, so there's nobody else. There's the ISO shot, and that's a great move by Kenny Lawler. Wesley Sutton can't get there. Way to get your best player of the ball on an easy read for your quarterback. Don't worry about coverage. Don't worry about anything. Throw a screen pass to Kenny Lawler. Good things happen.
Turn here from Devontae Deadman out to the 30. Spins off a tackle or 2. Across the 40 and tackled just shy of the 45-yard line. As we see Davis Alexander in his first half of action. No slouch, but did throw that elusive, although he liked when it was elusive, first interception so far this season.
Yeah, 71% completion. A lot of these quick, short screen passes get the ball in his playmaker's hands. Manufacturing some big, long drives. We talked about a 109-yard drive early in the game. Had the 1 interception, but obviously break and contain, doing what he does so well for this system.
Travis Tice back to work and sticking to his average on the season in around 5 yards, and that's about the 5th time tonight that number 5 has gone for 5, especially on first down, setting them up with second and manageable.
So the reason this is a 15-10 football game is the Owls are tied for first in the CFL at protecting the football. They're number 1, and they've only got 6 giveaways all season coming into this game. They got 2 in the first half, 2 giveaways. We have the 3rd and 1 short and the interception. That's why they're not out of sorts a little bit in this game.
Alexander, the pass rush coming, looks over the middle, complete, and brought down. Alexander Hollins on the receiving end was out of practice this week for a non-football related issue on the turf here, and a flag flies as he catches the first down for now.
And part of the...
On a une conduite antisportive contre le banc de Hamilton. On va avancer 10 verges pour le premier essai Montréal. We have a bench misconduct penalty against the Hamilton bench. We'll go up 10 yards from the end of the play. It's going to be first down for Montreal.
So I'm not sure whether a coach or somebody was on the field. Yeah, I think Scott
stay back,
said,
please.
I think he said, everybody, could you please stay back? So the CFL is, they want to protect the officials as well. Too many times coaches are on the field. I used to be always on the field, and if an official runs into a coach or his support staff on the sideline, they're going to draw the penalty. I think we saw one last night happen also.
Hollins, by the way, his wife had a child this week, which is the non-football related absence that he had from practice. Wishing mom, baby, and dad all the best. As Winton McManus.
That's a great player.
It's going to be first down at the 43-yard line. Premier essai à la ligne de 43.
Can be on and off the roster. Done really good things having him. It's a good pickup for this Montreal team.
Well, and the other thing is, too, Jarrett Stearns, and this is a huge credit to Kasim Ferdinand, went on to the 6-game injured list with a hand injury. He was a full participant, Jarrett Stearns was, all week at practice, but not dressed for this game because Ferdinand has done an excellent job in that role. As the Montreal offense goes back to Travis Tyson, just like they began in the first quarter, they begin the third with an excellent downhill run. And Whit McManus comes in at the end and gives a little shove that's going to draw some extra flags, I think, here on Cyril Hogan-Saint-Don.
This is all Jacob Mason. Watch what he does. So he's coming back on this zone read, and Travis Tice just bends it all the way back. Watch this. He gets the block on the perimeter, and they do a wind back play. I don't know if it's predetermined or Travis Tice just watched that, but the block on the edge, the defensive ends try to cut down to make the tackle on the play inside. Tice just goes all the way around it for the big game.
Gain of 21, and I fully expect that there'll be more added on here at the end. Is Hogan-Saint-Don, we mentioned it earlier in the screen game, Lapo, the offensive line for the Alouettes working downfield, pushing bodies, and that time Hogan-Saint-Don, I believe it was, got on to Wynton McManus and worked him 10, 15, 20 yards down the field until Tice was tackled. And is McManus getting kicked out of this game? Walking slowly
On
to
a
the
une vitesse excessive, disqualification, Hamilton numéro 48. Ça va être premier essai Montréal à la ligne de 1. We've got a rough play disqualification. Hamilton number 48 will take the ball to the 1-yard line. It's going to be first down for Montreal.
We'll see right in the middle of your picture, McManus gets rolled into and then walks over and gives a knee.
So a kick to the head. We saw a couple of weeks ago a punch last week. The CFL they want none of this after the football stuff, anything to happen. So if you kick a guy in the head, they're going to disqualify you. If you punch a guy, and some people say it wasn't a hard punch, it was an open fist. The league doesn't want the officials to decide how strong that hit was, how difficult. Oh, it was a closed fist, it was open fist. They just said, hey, we are in rules committee this year, we're eliminating, you can't hit a guy in the head. We don't care the energy, even if you miss, it's going to be a disqualification.
Well, Wynton taking his sweet time exiting stage left of the Alouettes bench, and stadium operations on cue knows which song to play, and the crowd into it as well.
And you know, I don't want to say it's ever a great thing to lose a player, one of your starters on the roster. You get protected a little bit more at the linebacker position because you do have more Americans usually in the spot.
Davis Alexander down inside the 5, hands it off, and Tice! The pile was pushed. And where is Travis Tice at the bottom of it all? Are they spotting the football inside the 1? Well, they tried to sneak one in quickly as McManus headed for the tunnel.
I do this all day. Keep him in what you call pistol, where his shoulders are square. He just stays on his line. As you see a little bit of penetration by Miles Fox, and just keeps his shoulders square, runs it into the end zone and puts it right there. Are we right there?
Leaned forward at the end, but
right
elbow was down. So Terry Wilson is in as the backup short yardage expert here now in Montreal, and he's got the major. So after the Kenny Lawler 33-yard touchdown catch and run, the Alouettes immediately answer back in the form of short yardage excellence.
Last time you went really wide outside, an outside quarterback sweep. This time you go off tackle. Keep your feet going. Terry Wilson, this is going to convert 95% of the time at the 1-yard line when you get these opportunities. No reason to hand the ball backwards, Marshall. Just fall forward and get the touchdown.
The Montreal offensive line, one of the more cohesive and impressive units in the Canadian Football League, offense, defense, or special teams at this point. Justin Lawrence, knee injury early in the season. He was a full participant all week, but no game for him as Hogan-Saint-Don locking down the spot, coming over from the Ottawa Red Blacks in free agency, and they plunge to the right-hand side behind Donnie Ventrelli and Tiger Shanks. Montreal retakes the lead in a close one. Davis Alexander and the Montreal Alouettes offense doesn't need any help driving the field. The balance of the rush and the pass is starting to take form as the season goes on, but making a poor decision at middle linebacker as one of the best players on defense in general in the CFL, not only does it hurt that drive, it's going to hurt Hamilton the rest of the game, Rob.
Yeah, and it took that ball from the 22-yard line to the 1, which is a 95% chance of scoring a touchdown. You can't get that penalty. You're always talking to your defensive players or offensive players. If you retaliate late around the ball, they're always going to see you on the retaliation. And the league has no interest in allowing people to kick people in the head or do any type of kicks or punches. So you're going to get the ejection.
Flag comes out here as Micah Awe behind the play. Looks like he might have got hooked up, checking his shoulder to make sure it's okay.
And that just makes everybody tougher.
Hamilton, numéro 43, c'est une pénalité diverge. Holding Hamilton 43, the 10-yard penalty. It's going to be first down for Hamilton.
Goes against Loic Gagne, the young player out of Concordia, as Trey Ford back at it, now trailing by 2 once again.
Yeah, so now you're going to have, when Hamilton gets back on defense, they got to have a new starter there. The special teams gets hurt because the starter on special teams now going into the middle linebacker. Just kind of a selfish penalty. You've got to know what they're calling.
By the way, Kenny Lawler with the career year of 14 touchdowns last season. You see Justin Lawrence on the far left side of the bench there, not in pads today. There were 0 touchdown passes last year in the historic best of for Kenny Lawler that were targeted behind the line of scrimmage, like that screen pass that we just saw go for 33 yards. He very rarely gets that kind of look as the toss goes here to Larry Roundtree and chopped down as Nate Boscheman coming down from the free safety spot once again, but a solid gain for Roundtree. It goes for 12.
A little bit of a toss play. You're just trying to get around the defense. A lot of people think you're going to try to get outside. A lot of times with the flow of the linebackers, you're going to find a crease inside. That's what Larry does. Goes inside and then back out to the sideline for the first down, 10-yard gain. Kenny Lawler just didn't have any. They just threw it deep to him all the time. Bo Levi just chucked it downfield. That's why he had no touchdowns underneath.
There's been times where we've seen Bo, what seems like just blindly throw it down the field, knowing Kenny's somewhere down there. Now it's all screen game. As behind his blockers, Larry Roundtree, patient as ever, out to the 41-42 yard line. Another first down. Was that Liam Dobson or Brandon Revenberg out in front?
This is a night. This is great. I could do a clinic talking about screen passes. We got Dobson out. Like what? We got Trevor Reed out. We got one lineman out. We got the second lineman out. And we even got a rat kill lineman. I'll teach you what a rat kill is. That's the guy chasing the guy who sniffs out the screen pass. So you see Revenberg go out, kick out block. You got the other two up the alley. Roundtree's inside the kick out and vertical. Great job by our offensive line tonight on all these screen passes.
Don Milanovich, Jared Baines going, oh, you thought you ran screens? Watch this. Inside running game, just like Travis Tice. As these two teams, their game plans starting to almost mold together. Both having success here in the second half early on with a pair of touchdown drives.
Roundtree really good patience here. You can see, watch his feet. If you watch his feet here, you know this is a close A-gap. So he takes one step and he's going to hit it right downhill. Good blocking at the perimeter on the insert play right up the A-gap. Nice movement for 7 yards.
Feels like a critical time in the ballgame for Trey Ford, doesn't it, Lapo? Managing the game, close one, middle third quarter. As Ford to the outside, Kenny Lawler. And he makes the grab. Pushed out of bounds at the sideline by, looks like Lorenzo Burns there in coverage. They got 7 yards with the inside handoff to Roundtree and then 6 there to Lawler for the first down.
Moving the launch point. Kenny going right out in the flat. It's a little bit of a pick play. If he outflanks the defense, you throw it. They move the launch point to give Trey an easy read to throw the outflank. And again, great location by Trey on that throw on the outside. Montreal's getting frustrated. You can tell after 3 or 4 first downs, here comes pressure. That's what happened last play.
Well, when will Noel Thorpe throw the kitchen sink at Trey Ford? A secondary blitz coming here. And Ford rolls away from it. Scramble rules are on. He thought about using the legs, now loads it up. Over the top. Does he have the arm? Hanging in the air, incomplete. It was Lawler against Burns. And Kenny getting the opportunity that he's probably been looking for a couple of weeks here with the big shot downfield, but it was a little late
the defensive backs, when you're playing mobile quarterbacks like this, you have got to stay with your man. You have to stay deep, and you can see this almost turned into a really bad play for Lorenzo Burns because he kind of stopped. You got to stay with your man when you're facing a scrambler. So he stops. Last week, same thing happened. Kenny Lawler had a touchdown in the end zone because the defensive back just stopped playing football. You got to stay with your man because he's going to extend the time needed to cover.
Blitz is on, and Trey Ford is going to try to get it once again with his legs and slides down right in the middle of the defense, but it is a first down from Trey Ford's legs once again. He told us that he's going to have the green light from Scott Milanovic as they get to know each other to use his legs a little bit more, be more daring, call his own number, and he does so there.
And again, you have different quarterbacks. You see him looking to his left, and then the protection just starts to break down, take off. Don't try to find the next guy. Young quarterback, use your legs, get 10 yards for the first.
Also, can't remember the last time I saw this. Lawler on that deep pass attempt. I don't know if you noticed, he was looking at the Jumbotron here at Percival Molson as he was jogging. He was running a clear-out route and looked up at the Jumbotron and then realized, wait a minute, Trey's not done. As they fake inside the two options, Ford rolls to his right, throws across his body into the middle, and it's almost intercepted. Wesley Sutton had it bounce off the gloves, incomplete.
Little bit of a bootleg trying to get it all the way across, and that just shows why it's so difficult sometimes when you have to throw across your body going all the way to the left. Carrick Weakfall's not in a position where he's even close to where his arm is, so now he has to flip his hips all the way to make this throw backside. Very dangerous throw. When you throw the ball late in the middle of the field, not good things happen.
This is the quintessential Trey Ford experience, though, right? One of the most entertaining players in the league. He can get you a first down any way you want, but sometimes he leaves one up for grabs by the other team. As Keandre Smith will haul this in shy of the first down marker, and that's why Lapo said it feels like a critical time in this ball game, because he was one throw away from having an interception, flipping the field, giving up a possession, but on the very next play, he's just as likely to go and rip off a 35-yard run out of nowhere, out of thin air. That's who he is.
And I think what he has to prove to everybody in Hamilton is I might be one of the most exciting players on one play, but I got to be the most consistent on the next play of, you know, getting through my reads, making sure I keep us on the field, doing the things. But the protection's got to help him. Like the Montreal Alouettes are getting really good pressure and not giving them a lot of time to throw the football.
Mark Leggio out to attempt this one from 46, and a bit of a sloppy operation on the extra point, and the Leggio breathing a sigh of relief on that one as well. I think that the snap to hold to kick is a little bit off right now for the Tiger Cats. They get away with one and chip in a triple off the right upright. Travis Tice, as much as he might not be the flashiest player in the Canadian Football League, getting it done, game over game right now, taking over this starting role. You love this guy, Lapo.
I loved him, right? And I remember talking to Danny Machocha a couple years ago when he first came into the league, and I said, man, like, where'd you find this guy? He said, you laid out for us. We had Walter. If you remember, this team had Walter Fletcher, a veteran player, and he just outbeat him for the job. 3 first down runs, 3 10-plus runs. Almost 10 yards per rush today, and a lot of physicality, Marshall.
Another screen here to Tyson Philpott. It's a screen off. What we got on Sunday Night Football between these two teams, but Travis Tice as well, 18 missed tackles forced, 3rd in the Canadian Football League, behind only Dedrick Mills of the Calgary Stampeders and Justin Rankin of the Edmonton Elks. So plenty of excellence this year from Travis Tice.
Yeah, and again, the ability, at times you always talk about running backs, it's never going to be clean. Sometimes you're going to have the defensive end on the backside of the zone read, you're going to have to break that tackle. You're going to have to, when the defender comes off the linebacker on the inside zone, you got to turn a 4-yard gain into a 7-yard gain so we can run the ball again.
Alexander looks to throw, waits for Tyson Philpott to come out of his break, and off his hands, incomplete. Jamal Peters there supplying the coverage.
So another reason, everyone always talks about the completion percentage in the CFL, and it's always great quarterbacks, and this is why it's so good. Part of this, how completion percentage is such a high level, that was a run play, and they had a speed out to Tyson Philpott. And what happens is if there's softness, they just take that throw. And you take the advantage throws when they're there, and they're high percentage throws that are 5 yards. That's why completion is so high in the CFL.
Inside the final minute of the third quarter, Davis Alexander with pressure on, flips this one away complete, and Tice going to try to go and get it himself, steps out of bounds. And the entire 20,000 person crowd here says they saw it. He was inbounds, but no, pushed out.
That's a big play by Ryan Baker because he's getting tons of yardage if Ryan Baker doesn't knock him out right here.
One last
uses one hand to do it.
Foot.
However you can do it, but great play by Ryan Baker. Great this punt.
A guy that is beloved and respected for filling in when Jordan Williams was acquired by the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Didn't play. They had to mix and match the ratio, and Baker prepared as hard as he could for the role, filled in admirably, and then they went and got Devin Verisuck, and then went to McManus in back-to-back years. But here's Baker playing in a big one. On the road is now one-on-one in the open field, and Isaiah Wooden somehow wins the battle for Joshua Archibald. It's there to bring down Wooden, a punt of 49 yards. Well, Davis Alexander has 188 yards passing. He's had 300 plus in every single game so far this CFL season. He had 400 and some last week. Let's see what he can do here in the fourth quarter as a close one, an East Division showdown to wind out week number 8 in the CFL. Here in Montreal, there is Miles Fox. A big week for him with more. Let's go down to Kenzie Lalonde.
Yeah, Miles Fox can add published author to his resume. This week, his children's book, Joyful Jamal, is available for pre-order. A story that explores life through the lens of an autistic boy. Inspired by his younger brother, Jackson, who was diagnosed at age 3. This story all began when he was a master's program back in college. It was a project. Now here we are 5 years later that has evolved to be a published book co-written with his mother Cheryl based on their shared family experiences. And there's a line in the book that Jamal says, "I am different and that's okay." Miles says this is the essence of the book. We want to celebrate our differences. Growing up with Jackson, there weren't many children's books talking about neurodiversity. The family hopes this can spark meaningful conversations for families. The book can be available officially August 7th, but for now, pre-order is possible.
That's big time, having the pre-sale.
That's so good, Miles Fox. That's great to hear. It's awesome. It's a great story.
As well, laughing to think about Kenny Lawler and his son that's been featured with the CFL and TSN, of course, and his autistic background. And then Woody Barron as well, as we're here in Montreal, the former Montreal Alouettes defensive lineman. He was also a children's author. So the D lineman in the Canadian Football League just pumping out the classics.
The poets. The poets of the D line.
Those are the guys, right? The silent ones that are always thinking, spending time by themselves, that end up being the most thoughtful often. Third quarter, time of possession, Hamilton 10 minutes, 20 seconds. Montreal just 4 minutes and 40 seconds. They go to Larry Roundtree to begin this fourth and final quarter. Trey Ford, I think, thought there might have been a face mask. Someone tackled up high. Just a gain of 1 right now, and Ford backed up on 2nd and 9, gets set to try and convert.
Good stop here by Montreal, creating this 2nd and long, trying to see what Trey Ford's going to, what are they going to do for Trey Ford to help him here on 2nd and long when you know Montreal is going to have a bunch of guys stand on the line of scrimmage, rushing 5, dropping people out in some type of zone, trying to confuse the young quarterback.
That's Noel Thorpe this week. What it feels like to be Noel Thorpe, knowing you're going up against a quarterback that you can try and confuse with your looks. He said, we keep our identity, we just shift the game plan. Well, the game plan here is to try and get them off the field. Curly Gittens Jr. one-on-one with Robert Kennedy, reaches the football out. He's giving chase. It's Kylan Goudry, and it'll be short 3rd down, and Scott Milanovic calls on his special teams.
Robert Kennedy makes this tackle to the wide side of the field, rallies up, forces everything back inside, makes that great tackle to the wide side. Good stop. 2nd and 10. All you got to do, keep everything in front of you. You saw Montreal only rush 4, dropped everybody out, just rally up and make the tackle.
3 punt return touchdowns in the career of Devontae Dedmon as number 7 stands back ready to receive this from McCarthy, but no punt return touchdown since 2022 for Dedmon. Could he? Not on this play. Great special teams coverage down the field. It's Jordan Crook, the rookie linebacker, making the play. World flavors come together as the culinary competition goes international. An all-new MasterChef Global Gauntlet Wednesdays on CTV, stream on Crave. The only thing I've eaten since being in Quebec is poutine and ice cream.
There it is.
Might have to change up the diet.
And the order is probably ice cream first, right?
Yes, especially when you're traveling with a 5-year-old.
Yes.
Of which I am. Davis Alexander digs in. Trailing by 1 in the 4th quarter here at home. He's only lost once in his CFL career. Was on the road in Edmonton earlier this year to Cody Fajardo, his former tutor. But DA hands off this time. Travis Tice goes for nearly 10 yards on that one.
Pretty, you know, the Montreal Alouettes the last couple years have not been able to run the ball very successfully. And I'm not sure why it is, whether they wanted to or not, whether it's up front. But certainly Travis Tice has given them somebody like this team can run the football and wear you down and get 10-yard gains, 9-yard gains. So it's another element to why this makes it one of the best offenses in the CFL.
Terry Wilson lunges over the top.
But, I mean, we're sitting here with one of the most explosive offenses in the CFL. And Hamilton Tiger Cats, I'm going to give their defense some credit. They've done a pretty good job here, right? They've put themselves in a pretty good position, haven't given up a bunch of explosives, and they put this team is very difficult to go against, so they've done a really nice job.
And without Winton McManus.
And without Winton McManus to finish this football game off. So Brent Munson's got to feel pretty good about this.
Just joining us, Winton McManus, the all-CFL middle linebacker of the Tiger Cats, coming over from Toronto in free agency, sent to the showers early with a knee to the head of a opposing player after the whistle, which means Ryan Baker has taken over, and the ground game's starting to go right after Baker in the middle of that Tiger Cats defense.
So let's watch the end zone of this play. So like a tailback's got to have patience and recognize what's in front of him. And you see all these guys at the line of scrimmage. Everybody's covered. But then watch how slow Tice is as we roll this here. And you go ahead and he says, okay, up, I start going to the right, and then just a little shuffle step, and then get north-south through the line of scrimmage for a 6-yard gain.
Travis Tice over 100 yards for the second time this CFL season. As Cole Speaker makes the grab, and out in the flats, Cole gets chopped down. It was 2nd and 4. They're in positive territory here, trailing by 1. I wonder if this is a good time to go, and it looks like they will send out Terry Wilson. He's had success. But Brett Monson, the defensive coordinator you see there, right in front of our CFL and TSN camera, he's hoping they can hold and get a massive turnover on downs right here.
And defensively for these guys, one of the best things these guys, first in the CFL in sacks this season, don't give up a lot of explosive plays defensively. One of the best in the CFL at that. Just got to create some more second longs.
Wilson, more than enough. Wisely sticks to that right-hand side. Donnie Ventrelli, Tiger Shanks doing the work. Davis Alexander in that 3rd quarter, 3 of 4, just 19 yards. And Oldthorpe told us that they've started quickly and then faded 2nd and 3rd quarters. They've had to rally and find a way in the 4th.
And I would say this, the ball's at the 46 yards. Some yards are more important than others. This is a crucial first down, because if you stop them here, they may not kick a field.
So true. Field position right on the fringes as Tyson Philpott thinks about reversing field, and now he's going to try. Gets turned back inside. And you can see why all the momentum, all the flow was going to the left of Tyson Philpott.
And that's kind of my point here, is like some yards on a football field are more important than others. Right here, if they get positive yards, they can kick a field goal. If they get negative yards, you take them out of field goal range. So this is a great play by the Ticats defense to create a negative yardage play. If they can finish here, right now you're sitting at a 58-yard field goal. Can you keep it a minimal gain? And then all of a sudden a punt happens.
Awesome.
Some yards are more important than others on the football field.
Absolutely. Loss of 5 yards, and Philip Osai goes to the wide rush, gets chopped down, gets back up, and gets Davis Alexander. Oh my Osai.
I like it, Marshall. Oh my Osai. understanding that Davis Alexander will scramble as he doesn't feel anything open right away, and he's at the bottom of the screen right here. Nice and easy picture for us to see. Okay, they try to cut, and when you cut, you got to get the ball out of your hands. Davis, for some reason, doesn't throw it immediately, starts to scramble. Osai gets up because he's a very athletic defensive end, creates a negative yardage play, and then forces the punt. Huge play by the defense.
Joseph Zima drops it down to Isaiah Wood, and it was right about here that he took one 100 yards for a touchdown earlier.
I got to say, Joseph Zima is one of the best in the CFL of planting, putting the guy on the sideline so there is no return. We got 8 minutes left. 1-point game, Marshall.
Kenny Lawler up to 78 games consecutive with a streak. Keandre Smith is actually on his way as well. He's added to his as well this evening. But there you see Samuel Emelis, so big for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. And man, do we ever miss having Reggie Begelton.
We would love to see some Reggie Begelton soon. I'm sure more than us is probably Dave Dickinson would like to see Reggie Begelton.
Devil's advocate, though, when you're hanging 50 burgers on people once every couple of weeks, you're doing okay. Stampeders passing attack shut down by Montreal in large part last week. The Alouettes got the victory on the road at McMahon. And they come home to take on the Tiger Cats. And in a tight one here as Carrick Wheatfall gets spun out of bounds. Goes for 16.
Good recognition to the wide side of the field. The softness of the zone to this wide side is going to be the corner going for depth. We can throw out to the flat as the corner gives ground. We've got the guy on the comeback right on the sideline before the underneath coverage can get there. So really good before Beverett can get over there. Always blows my mind, Beverett's to the wide side of the field as a real linebacker because they move him all over the place.
Well, Trey Ford on the move right now. Look at the throw and then shuts it down. And did the ball pop out at the end of the play, or was he already down? Montreal's claiming they should have possession. You see Najee Murray clearly there, locked in on the football with a Tiger Cat. And Ford actually dug his way back in. Was that a fumble? Was that not? Bit of an awkward ending to the play as Jason Moss watches on and immediately throws the challenge flag. The Alouettes think they have possession. Jason Moss defiantly
did not look like he was in a happy mood. Like, I should not have to throw my challenge on this.
And didn't ask anybody upstairs for a look either. Get one quick look at it here. Was Trey down? That ball is well out.
TJ Guy, he's the new guy on this defense. Watch what he does right here. Comes in, gets a punch, knocks the ball out. First-year player from Michigan, making plays, punches it out right before Trey Ford went down. When you're close, go ahead and again and push the ball out of the field.
Après révision du jeu, c'est déterminé que le jugement sur le terrain était erroné. C'est un échappé qui a été recouvert par Montréal. Upon review, the ruling on the field is overturned. It's ruled to be a fumble recovered by Montreal. Forced down Montreal at the 43-yard line.
First start, Marshall, for TJ Guy, and he's making dividends, right? Again, we talked about they're losing the turnover margin battle. Hey, what do? Get a couple of takeaways back. TJ Guy's right there, close, knocks the ball out before Trey Ford's knee gets down.
Big forced fumble guy. Loves punching the football.
The new guy.
Yeah, that's what we learned. There you go, inside handoff. Travis Tice in this one. Up for grabs in the Alouettes. Oh, it's a full moon in Montreal.
They go from both teams running screen passes, both teams fumbling. Big recovery.
Davis Alexander will give way once again to Terry Wilson in the short yardage package. The Tice so sound with the football throughout this CFL season.
You know, there is the opportunity. You're always talking to your guys about when you have guys who go for Brady Oliveira, Travis Tice, back in the days when you're coaching Andrew Harris is going to get extra yards, and he was going to fight for every yard. you always have to used to tell the coaching point is, hey, you got to think ball when you're in a pressure situation. When you're getting that extra yardage, guys are coming in to knock that football out. You can see that with Travis Tice. So he's just got to have great ball leverage as he's getting those extra yardage. It's one of the coaching points he would always use with those guys.
Came in as the two teams in the East Division right now. A lot of people believe most likely be near the top of the standings down the stretch. Montreal obviously with the big advantage. There's this one knocked away incomplete. And Destin Talbert, I think, wasn't real happy about getting chucked around by Travis Tice in short yardage. And Talbert forced that incompletion.
Okay, you want take a look at this right here. Chasing across the field the whole time, and you got to make that play in space, and you got to travel, make the tackle, and you got to run full speed all the way across. So that is excellent job on coming across the field, making the play, knocking the football out.
By Hamilton. Ruling on the field, the catch followed by fumble, recovered by Hamilton.
Wow.
First down.
They believe there was enough control of the football by Tyler Snead in order to deem that a catch and a fumble. So Destin Talbert didn't knock it away. He forced a fumble. It was immediately recovered by Reggie Stubblefield.
So we will see, obviously, the replay center is going to now look at this and decide, all turnovers reviewed by the replay center, whether he had control of the football.
Yeah, in real time. I didn't think there was, but
I think they're going to keep this. I think he took 2 steps with control of the football. And the best thing that Stubblefield does right here. So there is a term with penalties. When just because you hear a whistle doesn't mean play stops on defense. Because if there's a fumble, you always recover it immediately. Because if there's too much time delay with the ball on the ground, the replay center or the officials can say, hey, there was too much time. So you have to immediately recover a fumble, just in case there is, you had instant replay and there was a whistle on a field. So we always tell your defense, whistles do not stop play on defense. Still recover fumbles.
Well, full respect to Dave Foxcroft, the replay official for tonight's ball game, as he caught that one on the fly. I thought it was such a bang-bang play that there was no chance. But Montreal, after the punch-out, Trey Ford goes to the sideline. He comes right back. Handoff here going nowhere as Roundtree stacked up by the defensive front. Good to see Tyrell Richards, by the way, former first overall pick out of Syracuse, into this ball game right now. He injured his neck on the road in Calgary last week, limited a little bit in practice, but taking a snap there on defense as now they bring in Nate Beauchemin. The free safety returns.
Tyrell Richards was outstanding. Tied for first in the CFL last season in special teams tackles. Has been a great addition to the core 4 special teams in this football team.
And I think it has to do with Micah Awe perhaps injuring himself on special teams that we noticed earlier on as he stands on the sideline without a helmet on. So mixing and matching for the Alouettes on their back end as Ford thought about ripping it down the left sideline. Now looks left and throws a comeback route incomplete in the vicinity of Kenny Lawler. It's a 2 and out for the Tiger Cats after the punch out earned them an extra possession.
4-man rush, play a lot of zone, drop everybody out, make sure we keep him in the pocket and see if he can find the throw downfield. You can see maximum protection. Keandre Smith is in. He doesn't like what he sees to the right, starts to move to his left. He's only got 1 receiver over there. That's what's difficult. There's not a lot of people over there, so ball ends up going out of bounds. Good stop by the defense.
McCarthy, 1 steps in. Did that get blocked partially? It dribbles down and now near the football, trying to fight for it. It's Ronan Horrell on the roster this week. Part of 5 roster changes. You can tell McCarthy, his rhythm was totally different, trying to get that away as quickly as possible. Dropped it down, and Goudry got the left hand. What a big moment for the Alouettes special teams.
Here, and then you put your big paw up and help. Kylan Gudry, first-year player from Western Kentucky, gets in there, gets some penetration, pretty excited, long arms, making plays on special teams. Young players, when you get your opportunity, make plays on special teams.
Yeah, it's a bad equation, right? Goodry's got those long arms. McCarthy's got the long legs.
Yep.
You try to short step it, but what a moment of redemption, perhaps for Byron Archambault's special teams unit after giving up the 100-yard punt return touchdown earlier to Isaiah Wooden. And now he gets a partial block, excellent field position after the no yards as well. They'll run it on first down. Looks like a gain of about 4 yards. And trailing, keep in mind, as we're going to hit the 3-minute warning.
And Goodry, he should be watching, Tyrese Beverette, who played 3 years special teams.
Hamilton a demandé un temps d'arrêt
Then turned
avec
into a
3
start.
minutes 20 secondes. Timeout Hamilton with 3 minutes 20 seconds left on the clock.
So one of the changes, right, they want to make sure if this clock went all the way down to 3 minutes, they would lose time. So they want to make sure they conserve a little bit of time here for them to have an opportunity after a field goal to go have more time on the clock. So good timeout here by Scott Milanovic.
And to manage the game as best he can. I'm sure he would have loved to prevent the 2-and-out on the last Hamilton possession before the block punt. Try to grind this thing away, but it's distinctly in the balance right now. A 1-point ball game. Sounds kind of like a certain Tiger Cats game from last week, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Right, and the defense this time stays home on the backside. And what does that mean? It's Travis Tice keeps cutting this zone play back. This time, they got a bunch of defenders on the backside. They can make the stop, force the field goal. So big stop by Brent Munson's defense here to force a field goal.
C'est le temps d'arrêt de 3 minutes, 3-minute timeout.
We have hit the 3-minute warning as the Alouettes getting set to take a shot at this one, trying to retake the lead and hand it over to Trey Ford facing a deficit. Bombers, the Owls, the Red Blacks on Friday Night Football, and hey, Lapo and I are going to be Calgary, Hamilton.
Nice.
Saturday afternoon. Love a little afternoon action in the Hammer. We got that for you, but the kick coming here at the 3-minute warning. Jose Maltos Diaz.
And I believe the panel is going to Edmonton, the first place.
35-yard attempt to take the lead. You can hear a pin drop here at Percival Molson as the kick is good. And the Alouettes put the pressure squarely on Trey Ford's shoulders. The offensive line buckling it up. Trey's been here before, 5 game-winning drives in his CFL career.
164 yards passing and under a lot of pressure. That doesn't have a clean pocket as much this game. But gonna need a drive now.
In 2018, had himself 27 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. We came into this one talking about Vernon Adams Jr. and Davis Alexander. All these gaudy college stats from Trey Ford up here in U Sports. All that matters right now for the 20,000 in attendance and the entire Tiger Cats sideline as they make their way home this evening is, can he get the job done with 2:56 remaining?
Yeah.
What does he need to do in order to lead another game-winning drive?
I think Jared Baines and Scott just got to give him some go back to screen passes, give easy passes, give him stuff where he doesn't have to read a lot early on, especially create some second and mediums. Then doesn't matter what the coverage is, he can get some easy throws. So try to stay out of second and long with some nice easy throws, 1st and 10, mix it up. You don't have to run the ball at this point. Give him an opportunity to use his legs possibly in the run game. Or easy RPOs.
Maltos Diaz hammered that football right down the middle of the field and forced Isaiah Wooden inside his own 5. As it was Arthur Hamlin, the 3rd-year Canadian out of Colgate, who made the special teams tackle, and Trey Ford. You see there, 15 of 20, just 164. He's used his legs a couple times this ball game as well. 3 carries for 24 yards. He's got 2 first downs using his legs. But this is where the heart rate, no matter how many times you do it, Lapo, starts to raise as you stand in the huddle with the first call of the drive.
You got this veteran defense. The last couple of games, you've seen this Montreal defense had to hold off teams. They had to hold off Calgary the last couple of weeks. So this is a veteran group that plays well in these moments.
Ford begins trying to get him an easy completion and dumps it into the feet of Kenny Lawler.
And that's that easy call I was talking about. 2 out routes to the sideline to your best receiver. You just can't put that in the dirt. You don't want to put yourself in 2nd and 10. Those are the easy throws that's got to show up for Trey Ford consistently to help his cause, so he's not sitting here 2nd and long.
Crowd is on their feet. The 5-1 Alouettes. Davis Alexander has never lost a game at home as starter. Ford with pressure on, trying to run away from it. Najee Murray gives chase. Ford gets hit. He throws it up the middle of the field. In between 3 Alouettes, Curly Gittens Jr. The flag is down, so is Ford. Geoffrey Canton-Arcou in the middle of the train wreck at midfield, and here's our referee Ben Major.
Procédure inadmissible. Hamilton n'avait pas d'allié sur son côté droit. Pénalité de 5 verges. On va répéter le deuxième essai. Procedure, Hamilton had no end. We're going to go back 5 yards. Replay 2nd down.
Back breaking.
So you can only see we have an end on the top of this side, but I can't tell what's happening on the other side, where the other receiver is. Both offensive, the line has to have an eligible receiver on either side. That's a brutal penalty after this spectacular play by Trey Ford. It's the little details. You can't hurt yourself in this situation. Trey makes a great play. Just a difficult penalty here.
33 wiped away. World-class theatrics here to close out week 8, but it's the simple stuff that cost the Hamilton Tiger Cats no end. They go from a first down on a circus catch in the middle of the field to backed up deep. Now Ford steps up to the pocket, releases downfield. Lawler, and over his head, incomplete.
Montreal doing a good job understanding when Kenny Lawler's on the field, that's Trey Ford is going to. When he climbs the pocket, he's going to go make that throw. Boscheman's underneath it, forces this ball a little bit high, doesn't locate this ball for him. Just a difficult penalty to stop this drive by the Ticats. A mental error and not have enough guys on the line of scrimmage.
Deep in their own end, can't go for it. 3rd and 15. Don't think they'd recover from that, so they decide to kick it away, trust their defense to get a stop. This isn't going to help from Devontae Dedmon. Electric returner back in the lineup, and the Alouettes already on the edge of field goal range for Jose Maltos Diaz, thanks to Dedmon.
2021 most outstanding special teams player in Ottawa. Way too much space for Dedmon. And again, strong body. You got to bring. You can't just try to get an arm to break this guy down. He's 210 pounds. He sets blocks up well, and he can break tackles. Huge return to put them in field goal range immediately.
I think the special teams beast was awakened by the Isaiah Wooden touchdown return earlier on. Lawler with a touchdown catch as well from Trey Ford. And that is all the offensive points for the Tiger Cats as Travis Tice digging out as much as he possibly can on first down, and it looks like time called by the Black and Gold.
Timeout. Hamilton.
And Ford hoping he gets to touch the football again. As we get another look at it here, Lapo, at the no-end penalty that wiped away just one of the best plays of the year so far here in week 8.
Okay, let me show you this. We have 1, 2, 3 receivers to the field. Somebody has to cover the offensive lineman. One of these 3 players has to be on the line of scrimmage. And I'm not sure what formation they had called or what happened here that they don't have enough guys on the line of scrimmage. And one of those 3 guys has to see it. They should talk to each other because it doesn't really matter what that route is as long as somebody gets up on the line of scrimmage. It's a brutal penalty to take.
Davis Alexander on 2nd and medium. Pumps looks over the top. Tyson Philpott had that diving catch through the back of a Hamilton defender back in week number 1, but Zamari Walton does the job on that one. So the Alouettes, ever aggressive, go for it, taking a home run shot here on 2nd and medium, and then send out a kicking unit.
almost an opportunity, but Zamar Walton's got good inside position, forcing the ball to go outside. Forces this field goal by Jose Malto Diaz. Surprised they took a shot there. But Tyson Philpott can do a lot of things with the ball in his hand.
Jason Moss is throwing the challenge flag, looking for that pass interference on Tyson Philpott. As Maltos Diaz was getting set to line this one up from 46-47 yards away.
Montréal demande une révision du dernier jeu. Ils sont d'avis qu'il aurait dû avoir une pénalité pour obstruction défensive. Montreal is requesting a challenge of the previous play. They believe there should have been a penalty for pass interference. The play will be reviewed.
It's a little bit of early contact, is it? Now, we're watching it slow motion right now. The replay center will not on a pass interference. They're just going to play it in real time and decide if it was clear and obvious contact before.
You've read the rule book.
I've read the rule book. I've been in the rule committee meetings.
Yeah. Clear and obvious is the term they use, as we have an announcement from our referee, Ben Major.
Suite à la révision du dernier jeu, le jugement sur le terrain est maintenu. Following replay review, the ruling on the last play is maintained. Montreal loses their challenge and their last team timeout. Third down.
I don't think they felt there was enough contact or that it was clear and obvious.
But the kicking game comes into focus from 47 yards away. The always dangerous Isaiah Wooden stands back with 2:05 remaining should there be a miss. Maltos Diaz leans into it and he loves it. That was barely off his foot before he was already high-fiving Joseph Zima.
And I would say this, like Jason Moss has so much trust in Jose Maltos Diaz because they were sitting at 2nd and 3. They run the football again. They make, even if they don't get the first down, they make it a 45-yard, but they make it easier. But he's like, hey, we're taking the shot, and I trust Jose Maltos Diaz is going to make the longer field goal. I don't have to help him. And that's what you want out of your kicker, the trust you have there that they can try to get the first down with a pass, then give you the opportunity to kick the long field goal.
This was the equivalent of a guy at a par 3 you go with in the summer, just taking out a 9-iron, and he barely even swings and starts walking towards the green.
Well, and I think about Jose Maltos Diaz was a guy I had in Ottawa, Devontae Dedmon, Marco Dubois. There's a lot of guys that have come over from the Ottawa Redblacks from a special team standpoint that have really helped Coach Archambault and this special teams unit.
Don't you feel like Montreal has been one of those teams that does such a great job of just plucking the best of this and the best of that, and whenever things pop up in free agency, trying to fill a void, and let's go get a Michael Awe, and let's go find a guy to bring in here at receiver.
Here's an example tonight. Geodric Bynum getting the start, right? Was with the Elks for a couple of years, was in Calgary in training camp, got released, and the Owls pick him up.
Well, still, obviously a single-score game, and Trey Ford will get the football back. What a quirky, wonderful, wacky end to week number 8 as this one goes over the head and then digs in just inside the end zone. And that will be Isaiah Wooden letting the football slide into touch. And 24-18, 6 points. Need a major, and Trey Ford has to find a way. But field position, obviously giving up that single, moving it out to the 35 here to play, instead of catching it inside his own 5 for Isaiah Wooden. Second half passing yards, Davis Alexander with just 18. Trey Ford with 114. Going to need more here to pull off his 6th game-winning drive in his CFL career. Steps forward, gets hit as he releases. Intercepted! Robert Kennedy will seal it.
you pressure with a four-man rush. When you can play zone. And the zone defenders are looking at the quarterback the whole time. Trey Ford is under duress on the throw. Throws it too high to his check down. Kennedy's there to see it. He's not in man-to-man because the Montreal Alouettes get pressure from a zone look. Kennedy's right there for the overthrow to seal the win.
The Montreal fans feeling festive. Davis Alexander asking them to wait for the Oles to ring around Percival Molson until the clock strikes 0. Handoff, Travis Tice. Pierre-Olivier Lestage, so excellent in pass protection, trying to push the pile in the running game, as well as you can tell Robert Kennedy III hanging on close to that football, not letting it go anywhere.
Great play by Kennedy. Just understand, be in the right spot, being the low zone player, seeing the quarterback throw it, getting underneath, get the interception, put the ball in field goal range to make this a 9-point game after another round.
2nd and 7. The eyes of Davis Alexander staring down the Tiger Cats front. They'll turn around, hand it off. Travis Tice trying to get the edge. He does, and he gets sprung all the way to the 15, cuts it back. And the Tiger Cats are there, but it's too late. First down, Montreal.
2 points are great about Travis Tice. First and foremost, he recognizes, I've been cutting back all game. So what do they call it? An outside zone play. So once you go to the outside zone, to the right side, Donnie Vetrinelli goes ahead and gets the block on the edge, and then Travis Tice doesn't, goes down early so the clock keeps running. Good situational football by Travis Tice, recognizing there's no contain, get the ball outside, and then getting down to keep the clock running.
Continues to roll as Alexander squeezes every drop out of that play clock. Gives it back to Tice, patiently waits. And the bowling ball wearing number 5.
Yep. So impressed with this guy. Everything this guy does is you want to play hard for him. Another player that the players can respond to. And we started off the top of the show. Remember Davis Alexander? Man, our defense didn't like him at first because he kept giving us shoulders in practice and training camp. Like, this guy's playing too hard. Exactly what you want out of your tailback. Always falling forward for positive yards. Might be my new favorite running back here, Marshall.
Whoa. I heard you on the panel the other night crowning Davis Alexander as the best quarterback in the CFL right now. They got the tandem?
Might be.
See if they can finish this one off with a major, or will they just lean on the ground attack, play it safe? Oh, that's all they need. Travis Tice. The Alouettes will move to 6-1.
You don't have to be fast to be able to make plays in the Canadian Football League. Yep, go ahead and roll it, guys. You got to have balance, okay? He's right here. The jump cut to the left, knowing everybody's inside. The linebacker's at the line of scrimmage. I can wind it all the way back, get the touchdown. Second career high, 2 weeks in a row, career high numbers for Travis Tice.
This time around, 19 carries for 156 yards. And gets the touchdown. And now the Oles can rattle their way around Percival Molson as Maltos Diaz adds another. And the final score might end up looking the way that many thought it should have, would have, was supposed to, based on the conversation coming into this one. But it was a battle for Montreal to get clear, and it was due in large part to the efforts of this man.
And here's what's pretty cool about this football team. We've been talking about Tyson Philpott, big explosive plays, downfield, Davis Alexander chucking it downfield. We just got 2 career highs 2 weeks in a row from the tailback position of Montreal Alouettes. So they can run the football, they got a quarterback who can scramble around and create explosive plays. They got talented wide receivers. They've got a lot of good things going on offensively. And I said this last week, you know, since Chase Moss took over, it was the defense really led this team in his first couple of years. I think this team goes through the offense now. And, the defense is still outstanding, veteran players and everything. But you got to keep up with this Montreal offense to stay in games now.
I think the biggest thing that I take away from this, Lapo, is that the best teams in the CFL year over year find a way, and everybody takes their turn being the reason that you're getting wins. When teams are losing,
three-phase football,
everybody takes their turns being the reason that you're losing, right? And struggling to figure out, well, if we plug that hole in the boat, there's another hole over here. And right now, the Alouettes just don't have many holes in the boat. They're not sinking anytime soon.
Well, the other...
As Isaiah Wooden with a flag coming out just picks up the football and runs away down the left sideline.
And the other thing that you talk about the top teams, what they're going to have every year, is they're always going to be in the top 1, 2, 3 defensively. Very seldomly.
Bloc illégal, Hamilton numéro 12. On va reculer divers, ça va être premier essai pour Hamilton. Legal block on the return, Hamilton number 12. It's going to be first down for Hamilton.
So some teams are going to be able to outscore people and win games, but to consistently win, you got to be a team defensively that keeps them out of the end zone, gets takeaways. Those are the top teams you'll see in the league right now. Montreal, right? You talked about the Edmonton Elks, top team. They're playing great defense, taking the football away. Saskatchewan Roughriders this season been playing pretty good defense. So those are the teams. Match those with a talented offense. That's why they're in the tops in the league.
Absolutely. Well, back-to-back weeks, tough-fought victories for the Montreal Alouettes. Finding ways to grind and complete the task at hand. Definitely the sign of an excellent team as made by Guy at the end of that one. And
the new guy, TJ Guy.
And in that theme, though, I love what Noel Thorpe said to us this week. This is one of those great quotes that you just kind of catch in the middle of like a 20-minute conversation. He said, this team has finished, not folded this year.
Well, and the other thing, we go back to our point, Noel Thorpe said he talked to the defense, because I talked to him about that, hey, defensively, you guys kind of led the way. And he says, I was telling the guys, this doesn't happen, this is, for the most part, offense is giving you guys a really good grade. You guys enjoy the fact that the offense puts points on the board, they stay on the field. They're helping this defense win with another big win for this Montreal Alouettes team and Jason Moss.
For the first time this season, that man, Davis Alexander, does not throw for 300 yards or more. He doesn't care because he remains undefeated at home. The Alouettes faithful have never seen number 10 lose a game as a starter here at Percival Molson Stadium. And the Alouettes continue to extend their lead atop the CFL's East Division as they sit at 6-1 right now. The Hamilton Tiger Cats dropped to 3-4. They're in a tie with the Toronto Argonauts, who they faced just last week. What a week it was in the Canadian Football League once again. As we finish this one out with the Alouettes finding a way to continue their winning ways. The hot streak at the start of seasons continues, and the Tiger Cats get another opportunity coming up next week. For Paul Lapalese, Kenzie Lalonde, our whole CFL and TSN crew, thanks for watching. It's time for Sports Center with Jermaine Franklin and Nikki Reyes.